a perk system and stick to it. So far, we've had the original system of you improve skills by using them. We then had a pure XP, and then that gives you, you level up and you get perk points and you spend that on things, even if that's stuff that you've never done anything with before. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm using wooden clubs that scale off of strength. And I put all of my perk points into intelligence because I can do that. Now you have this sort of a weird hybrid system where you still earn XP and you level up and you get perk points, but a lot of your skill progression is now dictated by skill books that you find while exploring, which forces you to explore and not just homestead. Personally, and I've seen a lot of other people with the feedback of, I'd love to see a mix of the first two systems with, tools and weapon skills improving through actually using them. Okay, I used my axe a lot. I'm now better at that. And then things like crafting just being behind perk points. One of the issues that they had back in those days was, my tool crafting skill only improves when I craft tools, so let me craft 900 stone axes, so that'll improve my skills. No, don't do that. Have it be a perk point. Okay, I've invested this perk. Now my tools are better. Mix the systems like that. Number 2, don't bother with random world gen until the game is done. If you've played the game, then you know that there's two main ways of setting up your map. You can play on Navezgane, which is a pre-constructed map, which they've spent a lot of time refining and updating over the years, and then there's this random world gen, which, to be fair, has gotten a lot better over the years, but has led to things like one game that my friends and I were playing together. We ended up calling this area Curse Town because this entire city was made out of floating blocks and random chasms, and we lost multiple characters there that had to then be teleported using console commands. The thing is, though, Navezgane is already huge. And the game has a ton of internal progression, and getting around the map just isn't that fast. So it's not like they were going to run out of map content all that fast anyway. People weren't going to get bored with the map because they explored the whole thing, unless they spent thousands of hours to do so. So why bother refining a random world generation system when it'd be so much better if you spent all that time and effort making Navezgane amazing, and then maybe later on, add random world generation as a later update or DLC or something like that. Make the game first and then add the bells and whistles, things like that. Number 3, stop fighting the players. The thing about open world sandbox style games is they're all about making your own fun. You want to build a staircase to the sky? Do it. You want to make a 1-to-1 copy of Helm's Deep? Go for it. You want to play the whole game as if it's Farmville? Why not? But no, the Fun Pimps have a singular vision for how they want their sandbox game to be played and have nerfed all systems that defy that into the ground. I mentioned before their response to a player who wanted to play an archery build but wouldn't be able to because of their changes to the water and their response was just play a different way. There's also been major nerfs to farming, to the point where unless you have a ton of perk points to dedicate to only farming to max it out, you cannot sustainably farm, period. You will get less seeds back than you planted and eventually run out unless you go exploring and find more. Why? Why do this? Why force the homesteading type players to go dungeon crawling? In my own group, we've got people that enjoy different things. I like to build bases. My wife likes to go farming and go hunting. Others of my friends like to go exploring and do dungeon crawls, and that's the kind of stuff that they enjoy. These are all perfectly valid playstyles, but the Fun Pimps have decided and done a lot of work changing the game to make it so that none of those are viable playstyles except for dungeon crawler. Why do that? Number 4, quit trying to make it look pretty. In the last couple of years, the Fun Pimps have proudly unveiled all new character models for their zombies while introducing a ton of new blocks to play with and higher resolution models for basically everything. The thing is, the new and improved models still look like they belong on an Xbox 360 at best, so they're still a decade out of date. And that's okay. Nobody is playing 7 Days to Die for the graphical fidelity. They're playing it for the gameplay. Stop wasting time throwing out all your old art assets and replacing them with new ones and finish the dang game. Seriously, they've had over a decade to work on this thing and have sold millions of copies of the early access version of the game, so of course the character models look like they're out of date. Because they are. They're a decade old. They didn't look that great even when they came out. And that's okay. If you finish the game and then update with shiny new models later, that's fantastic. Everybody would appreciate that. But nobody's playing 7 Days to Die because of how pretty it looks. We're playing it for the gameplay. Focus on that. As it stands, they've been working on this for so long that all that effort that they put into making the game have a facelift just feels like wasted time and effort. Number 5, finally, do right by the console players. There's a bit of a controversy surrounding the 1.0 release of 7 Days because there's no real way to update the console players to the 1.0 version since they're all on decade-old consoles. There's been talk of them trying to figure out how to hand out coupons or something, give a discount, but the fact is, these people have already purchased the game for a reasonable price and haven't received an update in years. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this before. Yeah, the console early access version is a few years of updates behind the PC version. So basically, the early access promise has already been broken, and now they're looking at probably having to pay full price for the game again. This is so not cool, okay? These people provided the capital that you needed to develop a game for a decade. You don't get to charge them twice. The fun pimps need to either set up a way of getting release version copies to every console player who wants one, free of charge, or should just issue refunds to everybody who bought the game on console. There is no other option, period. And there's my list. I really do love this game. Don't get me wrong. I have some gripes about it, but I do love it. It's fantastic. The gameplay loop is really engaging for me, and I've put in hundreds of hours over the years. I just want the game to succeed and grow into what we all want it to be. In the meantime, though, what do you all think? Are there other changes that you would make if you were the God King of 7 Days to Die? Let me know in the comments what you think about the whole situation, and until next time, live long and prosper, and may the Force be with you.